Hello, my name is James McLeod, the son of Jacob McLeod and Caroline Singleton, the paternal grandson of Ross McLeod and Harriet Caldwell, and the maternal grandson of Powell Singleton and Phyllis Williams. I was born in a small little town of Somerton, in Clarendon County, South Carolina on September 10, 1909. I was one of 6 children born to Jacob McLeod and Caroline Singleton. We were all born in South Carolina. My one and only older sister Charlotte, we just called her Lottie, she was born in 1897. I had 4 brothers. Moses, born in 1901. Victor, born in 1902. John, born in 1905. Powell Timothy, known as P.T., born in 1912. I'll tell you a little something about my siblings first. My sister Lottie was a great, big sister. She saved me once when I fell in a well in the back of our house. I was swallowing all the water because I knew, if I stopped drinking it, I would drown. My sister saw me and dropped the bucket down to lift me out. My beautiful big sister Lottie passed at an early age from pneumonia. My brother Moses, also known as Mose. Mose was blessed and God's angels was watching over him. He had a home that was built on stilts, and he had moved the house to this spot and had crawled up under the house trying to straighten the stilts under the house, and the house fell on his head. I was there and my young son Tom, and so we thought enough to get a mirror to hold up to his face to see if he was still alive. He survived and was in the hospital for about 3 months, and I think they put a metal plate or something in his head. The other time I'm thinking about was when he was driving a car and it got stuck on the railroad tracks. A train came along and hit the car and tore the car in two. Everyone in the car died but him. God definitely had his angels watching over Mose. You would think his life was a tall tale. Next is my baby brother Powell Timothy, P.T. P.T. married Sarah Sparkman and they had 5 daughters together. I'm sure there are some stories about him, and when I come up with them I will let you know. This is a photo of my brother Reverend John McLeod. John married Paralee Gibson. They lived in Lakeland, Florida, and they had 13 children. Only 11 survived, 8 sons and 3 daughters. My brother John was a contractor. He would do farm work. He taught his children business and work ethics at a young age. John and his second wife Estelle moved to New York and started a church. And then he moved back to Lakeland in later years. Here is a photo of all of my nieces and nephews from my brother, John. My brother Victor married Eldora Mathis in 1927, and as far as I know, he didn't have any kids. It does look like he had another wife, named Willie Mae Allen. Victor was a sharp dresser, and used to run the numbers. I married Willie B. Robinson on August 2, 1930 in Polk County, Florida. Willie B. was a beautiful, church-going woman and a wonderful wife and mother. Willie and me met in Florida during a church meeting, and we courted for a short time and we married. We didn't have long engagements back then. Willie came from a holiness church background and I was from the Evening Light Church of God. Me and Willie raised 6 children together. Thomas was already about 6 or 7 when we met and married. We soon had our oldest daughter, Fredonia, born in 1931. Then next was Mary, born in 1939. Then James Jr., born in 1942. Then Lily Mae, born in 1945. And last the baby girl Bernice, born in 1946. I worked at Campbell Soup Company for years. From 1944 until 1954, that's when I had my first stroke. I worked my way back strong from the first stroke, and brought myself a red truck to start my own business. I recruited some workers. Our business was whitewashing and cleaning rich people's basements. Along with the whitewashing, I had a side business, selling barbecue and sodas out my backyard. I did that until I had stroke number 3. After stroke number 3, I was admitted to the hospital, and had 3 more strokes in the hospital. So overall, to 1967, I had a series of 7 strokes. I was strong though. I might have lost my strength on the left side, but my right side became twice as strong. Here's an interesting couple of stories about me. One day, I was walking through the graveyard on my way home, and I saw some paper or something, just laying on the ground, and so I was curious and stopped to pick it up. I picked up the paper, and my mouth dropped. The photo was a picture of me, and it was fading. I found it in time, because if the picture had faded, I would have died. Another strange thing that happened to me. We lived in the woods of Somerton, and on any given night you could hear a pin drop, or a person walking. It was that still and quiet. The sky was pitch black, with only moonlight to see. My brother and I heard a loud knock on the door. Knock. 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 Then again, knock, knock, knock. It sounded extra loud because of the quiet. My brother and I looked at each other, wondering who would be at our door that late at night. So we both went to the door. We answered the door, and when we opened the door, we saw a dog, but it wasn't an ordinary dog, it was a ghostly-looking dog, just sitting there. We could see through it. Both of us saw the same apparition, and we started screaming and yelling, because we were young and scared. We made so much fuss that our mother came running to the door with the lamplight. And I think she saw it too, because of the look on her face. She hurried and closed the door and calmed us down and eventually put us back to bed. Let me tell you about the time I was about 9 or 10. I was young. I thought that the can of lye looked like a can of condensed milk. I started drinking it and my lips started feeling funny. When I looked at my face, my lips looked like they were turned inside out. My mother caught it in time, and used a remedy to stop the lye from eating my skin. I turned out just fine, but it looked like I was smiling for about a week. To all of my children, Fredonia, Mary Alice, Lily May and Bernice, and to all of my grandchildren and great-grands and so on. I love you all. Please continue to pass on your history to the next generation, so that they can pass it on, for generations to come.